Good morning. This is WCW KUTV Rise Today. This is how we activate your midweek. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Anke Doris Sambat. Now, we are a few minutes into the show, but now I have to welcome in my very first guest into this particular show, this segment where we discuss some very topical gender issues. And today we, put our focus on women leadership, of course, after following the US elections and asking ourselves if we have our own Kamala Harris in Kenya. Now, because she could not make it in studio today, we still have her gracing in the studios right there via your screen on Zoom. Mercy Jelimo, who is the Program Officer, Women and Leadership Center for Rights, Education and Awareness. Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Doris. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very well. How are you this morning?
Very fine. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Is it cold where you are? Because it's cold in studio.
Yes, I think the weather is a bit gloomy, so yeah.
But we're looking forward to making it hot where people are watching us from with this leadership manenos.
Yes, please.
Now you represent, you represent a very powerful, organization that, of course, has, made it their obligation and, their responsibility to ensure women are advocated for and, share certain rights, that they deserve. I just want to hear more about the program, how long you guys have been in place and how is it going so far for you and being the people you are locally in the country.
Thank you very much for having me. I think the Center for Rights, Education and Awareness has been in existence for 20 years now. We just celebrated our 20 years anniversary last year. It was primarily founded to ensure that women know their rights, and that's why you can also see in our names we talk about Center for Rights Education. So we primarily focus on giving the education to women to know the rights that they have and claim those rights. So we also try to build their capacity to be able to claim those rights. And as you rightly mentioned earlier on, as you were starting, we focus on four programmatic areas. One is on ending gender-based violence. The second one is on ensuring there is universal access to sexual reproductive health and rights. The other one is on trying to increase women's political participation. And the fourth one is on women's economic empowerment. Specifically for the... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I just realized that you have a very core thing that is to promote the opportunities for women in the political, all right, and educational fields as well as in the industry of business and in their professions. Now, I just want us to take us deeper into that political, sphere. All right. Yeah. Now, you work directly with these women, and of course, you see what's going on in the country. We've had research and evaluations that say, well, Kenyan women who have been elected into these posts are not doing, enough for the country. And also there's a concern about these particular spaces that have been created for us not being fully, filled by women. Are they not vying, or are they not being supported enough by the, the citizens? What is your perspective from where you stand as an organization in this particular matter?
I think sometimes those claims, we can say they are valid, but most of the time those claims are not valid. One, because we need to really understand what are these challenges that women face that prevent women from being in this position, from seeking these political positions. Women face a number of challenges, including just our, the way we are socialized to take women's leadership. A number of us do not, have the thought that women can even make good leaders. And then when they get those leadership, they themselves also have these, norms that have been instilled in them, norms that, they've grown up knowing that, I'm not perhaps capable. These kind of positions are reserved for other people. So these are a number of challenges that women face, but we continue to see that women are increasingly offering themselves into these spaces, and they are really taking these leadership opportunities that present themselves. So just back to your question, as we were earlier on starting on the question of women's leadership and what are some of the efforts that we as the Center for Rights, Education and Awareness have taken to ensure that we promote women's leadership. I can tell you that we continue to build the capacity of women to ensure that women they can believe in themselves, that there can be leaders, that we try to improve their agency, the power for them to take these positions and to participate in these processes. So we continue to give them the necessary knowledge and skills, especially in regards also to mounting effective campaigns. We continue to also build their communication skills. I think over time, that inferiority complex has permeated into women, and women have felt like, when media houses like yourselves call us to come and give interviews, we do not know how to speak, we do not know how to present our issues. So we continue having these capacity initiatives for women, including how to raise, money or funding to mount campaigns. We continue also to closely work with political parties. I think the way our democracy is structured is that you must, participate within the, political parties are your vehicles to this leadership. So we continue to ensure that these political parties have systems, have structures in place that are really facilitative of of women's leadership.
All right. Mercy, yes, so I'm seeing a lot of, your work with women, trying to, build their capacity. But someone would then ask, you're a feminist, a non-profitable organization. How then do you work closely with the men? Because we do realize that, the society is still, made of men and women. And to really empower women, to get to the gender equity, stage, we have to involve men. How does the organization then bring in men to realize that women also need to, be supported into destroying this inferiority complex, among other things? Mercy.
Yeah, that's a very important question you raise, Doris. I think, because most of the leadership positions as we speak now, most of them are held by men, we cannot fail not to work with them. So what we do, especially there's one other thing that we do on advocating for an enabling environment for women's leadership. And that means then, trying to advocate for proper legislations that can support women. And when you look at our parliaments, both our National Assembly and Senate, a majority of the people there are men. So we continuously work with the men to ensure that men can see, why we need to make our society as inclusive as possible, why everyone, and when we talk about women, we just don't mean women. We know we have young women amongst ourselves. We have women living with disability. So for us is that we try to ensure that Parliament, National Assembly and Senate put in place mechanisms that can promote women's leadership. So in that regard, we lobby, one-on-one lobbying with men to ensure that they pass this legislation. We also work at the county level and at the grassroots level with men, in our efforts towards, creating this awareness. We work with men. We also target men to ensure that men can also see the need, why they need to vote women, and the need why they need to be comfortable with women's leadership. So in our civic education, we also target men. In our advocacy and lobbying work, we also target men. We understand the place and the role that men play in our society, and also the power they have. For instance, in most of the counties, we also work with the religious and cultural leaders. A majority of them are men, and they are the gatekeepers of our culture. So you will see that in most of our interventions, and just not the Center for Rights Education, I think we understand, the actors in this sector understand to involve men. So we try to reach out to those religious leaders, pastors, leaders, all of them, to ensure that they promote women's leadership, and they try to disrupt or deconstruct the social norms that we have in our society.
Mercy, I like the way you're saying they try. We also have to acknowledge that we are patriarchal, continent.
Yeah.
We are cultured. So we do have, men really playing a part in socialization, in the major agents
Right.
because gender is a social role. So
Right.
you have mentioned your participation, and of course I can, be with you in the same line by saying 9 counties, of course, that we have highlighted that you work with, if I'm correct: Meru, Narok, Kitui, Kericho, Bomet, Isiolo, Nairobi, Kilifi, and Nyeri counties, and I think that's quite a good milestone. However, I would want to ask, therefore, now that you have existed for 20 years, all right, and everything you've mentioned, you working with the public, the grassroots, very, very important. How is the impact so far? The feedback, because we are seeing young girls also looking up to you. I just want to have an assessment, generally in the country, if then you have seen for the 20 years that women are taking up, are being more aggressive to this, because you could be doing things, but people are the opposition is increasing. What is the assessment with Kenyans? Are they picking up? Is it getting better by the day?
Definitely, it's getting better. 20 years ago, we did not have laws, what we call the affirmative action laws,
Yes.
laws that promote women's leadership. Now, when you read our constitution, we have more than 5 articles that talk about, trying to ensure our society is inclusive, trying to ensure that women are represented and participate in all these processes. So we've had a number of gains that we've made. We also are seeing that increasingly women are also vying, women are also presenting themselves for these positions. One, initially we never had any women governor. Now we have 2 governors. We initially had 3, but we lost 1. So now we have 2 women governor. We have 3 senators in place. We have the 47 women representatives that are now in the National Assembly.
Okay.
We have 23 women in the Senate. So when you look at in terms of women presenting themselves to these positions, we can see that there is an increase, that more women are vying for these positions, more women are presenting themselves. And it's not just about political leadership. When you go back to our society, our villages, you can see that women are really taking leadership roles. They might not necessarily be political roles, but you'll find women leaders in churches, women community leaders, the chama leaders, those are leadership positions. And those previously were not, did not exist, or women were not offering themselves for this kind of things. But now we are seeing that they are really taking this leadership. They are challenging the status quo, and they continue. We clearly can say that whereas we've made steps, we are not yet there. So this journey continues, and we continue to advocate, and we continue to work to ensure that the rights, at the heart of this, it's the rights of women. That's the premise, that all of us are supposed to enjoy the rights that is guaranteed in our constitution, that are just guaranteed because we are human beings. So that journey continues.
So it is because
we've made progress.
Oh, great. So what we are acknowledging here is the progress we have made. Somebody said slow progress is still progress, so long as we're not moving backwards. So I just want to close with a very powerful, I find it a powerful question today, because we are experiencing, or rather we are witnessing, a historic moment in the United States of America, where we are having the woman who will break the new ground as vice president in the United States of America. And I was asking the audience today, the viewer today, if we have our own Kamala Harris in Kenya. Now I'm going to take you away from representing the group, the program, to now being Mercy Jelimo as a woman, a Kenyan female, to tell me if you feel there's a politician who stands out for you, who you would say, yes, I'm looking at the next vice president or president of Kenya. Do you feel we have a Kamala Harris, quote unquote?
Of course, I think for me, we have a million Kamala Harrises in this country. And let it not be lost on Kenyans that the continent has set precedent already. We have Liberia that elected the first African woman president, Ellen Sirleaf. We have Malawi that has Joyce Banda. We just here across the border, we have Tanzania with its vice president. So I think the the idea why we are celebrating Kamala more is because then of the challenges, and I think US being a superpower, then we in our heads we think that the challenges that she had to surmount were more than the challenges that perhaps these African women had. But to me, I think the challenges are the same. So back to your question, I think we have a million Kamala Harrises. I think in this country we have incredible women that if it were not for marginalization and discrimination, then we would be having women. Will by this time we even have had a women president. So when you look at the
I remember Martha Karua in the presidential candidate race at some point.
And we also have had Charity Ngilu,
oh absolutely,
who has vied before. When you look at the women taking global positions now in our Kenyan women, we have Sandra Ojambo leading the UN Global Compact. We have Anne Deritu that has just been named by the Secretary General to be the special advisor on genocide. So I think as a country, we have women of quality, women that have qualified to take this leadership. It's just that we are not embracing them and giving them this opportunity. I think we still need to continue leveling the playing field, as we say, as we talk about it in our sector, that the playing field is not leveled, it still discriminates and it's still unfair to women. So we need to level that, and one of the ways is having the 2/3 gender rule in place, and you've seen the country has really been opposing this. So if we have those kind of affirmative action measures that take into cognizance the different challenges, the problems that women have to face to get into this leadership, then we will move forward and we will see these Kamala Harrises that we want to see. But we cannot see Kamala Harrises if one, men do not believe in women's leadership, if men do not support women's leadership, and if women ourselves also do not support and embrace women's leadership. So it actually begins with all of us. If we want to see a Kamala Harris, then it is a call on all of us to take the necessary action. And this action includes voting for those women, giving these positions, taking the women to school, so and also trying to prevent violence from occurring. This society, we increasingly see violence against women
all the time. And Marcy, I feel that what you have said that is very, very important is that this is not just a women thing. This involves all of us. So that the next generation coming up, because we have videos of young girls watching, Kamala Harris give her speech. So we do realize that what we do right now is picked by the young girls. Thank you so much for joining us today via Zoom. It's so good to have you, of course, give and shed light on women leadership. Marcy Jelimo, the Program Officer, Women and Leadership for the Center for Rights, Education and Awareness. It's been a pleasure and an honor, Marcy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Viva.
And let the conversation continue. I think we need to continue having these discussions to enlighten people, to break those stereotypes, and try to promote women's leadership in the country.
All right, thank you so much, Marcy. I hope they heard you. 0739.
Thank you.
All right, now thank you so much, guys. That was my first guest in studio. Of course, I like saying in studio, but she joined us via Zoom, and I hope that was an impactful, discussion that we had on women leadership. And I hope you have heard that we have a lot, millions of Kamala Harris. I don't know if I said Harrises like she said. 0739 1105444. Continue to engage with us on that particular line. SMS and WhatsApp 0739 1105444, 0739 1105444. I'm also seeing your feedback on our Facebook page, KUTV. Live, you can stream there, and I'm seeing a lot of you. I want to give you that shout out, but continue to talk with us on Twitter also at KUTV Kenya, at Anki Doris. Do not forget, as we go deeper into the show, we have our WCW, a woman we celebrate, give you her portfolio, give you her life story, give you a biography. Here we bring you women and make you understand where they've come from and where they're headed. So look forward to that deeper, of course, discussion and analysis as we go continue in the show. All right, Wangari Maathai is the outstanding Iron Woman. This one was Sike Alan Wanyonyi. All right, Wangari Maathai is the late. All right, I that is the late, but I can see the legacy is still on. And of course, she has left an unforgettable, you know, I don't know how to say that, but when you talk about strong women and the effect and the feeling that comes with their names even after their demise, it's powerful. All right, now according to Asika, that is still the outstanding Iron Woman. Anyone alive according to you? Let us know on 0739 110544. I am yet to bring in studio another powerful guest, powerful woman, powerful in her voice, not only in speech but in melody, that she transforms lives and she speaks deeper than words would without the aspect of melody in it. If you know who I'm talking about, good. If you don't, brace yourselves for an amazing, powerful interview right here on the WCW edition. Good morning.